Hey there everyone, Tyler Pyburn here with Phil DiMartino. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the 5 Tool Productions video podcast. So today we're talking all about marketing technology. Is it good? Is it bad? We have some pretty strong opinions about it, at least I do, but it kind of stems off of a recent article we read from Mark Schaefer, as well as a video that I happened to stumble upon from someone from Forrester that talked all about the amount of marketing technology that is in fact out there. It's crazy right now.
Right. I mean, if you work for a medium or large company, chances are, if you don't have at least one vendor, I would probably call you a liar. And you probably have at least a couple of different vendors.
Yeah, and this could be anything. It could be email. It could be, it
right. When you talk about marketing technology, you're talking about even MailChimp is a free version of marketing technology,
it is
right?
a piece of technology.
Every single company has multiple different
at least one.
Right. And first of all, the question about whether or not they all play together nicely is part of it. But beyond that, it's even just how are these technologies working to make your customer experience better, right? I think that's where this should start from. Are these technologies working to make your customer experience better, or are they just making your life easier?
Well, life easier and sometimes harder in some cases. So I'll share kind of my personal story. I worked for a company a little while ago, and they purchased a very well-known content automation software that was based here in Boston. I loved working with it. Great platform. HubSpot, they are great. Absolutely awesome platform. I loved every single thing about it. But the one thing that I saw when we got it and when we started using it is that it only works if you have the content readily available or you're ready and willing to invest in the content. You can't just pay the $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month premium, whatever it was at that point in time, and expect it to just work out of the box and say, problem solved, marketing, wand, right?
I do think some people think that way.
So a lot of people think that, unfortunately, but it really, unless you're going to use it to its fullest potential by creating, by building inside of it, and really personalizing and humanizing, as we've said before, to a lot of your clients, it's not necessarily worth it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot of work for you. And to that point, on the other side of things, because you have it and because you have created all this content, doesn't necessarily mean that the person on the other end is going to be thrilled that you're automating a bunch of messages to them. You're going to start getting annoyed, which is something that I know you want to talk about.
Yeah, I think that oftentimes as marketers we focus heavily on conversions, right, and things, whatever our key metric is, and you zero in on that, and as long as you hit a certain number of conversions or purchases or whatever your key metric is for this specific campaign that you're running, you consider it a success. But there's kind of like a collateral damage that comes along, specifically with marketing automation technology, more so than any of the other marketing technologies, right? Which is that you're probably bothering a lot of the people that you're reaching out to in terms of, is the way that you're communicating with people, is the way that you're getting your marketing messaging across, is it actually something people enjoy engaging with, or is it just that you're casting such a wide net that inevitably you're going to catch a couple of fish in it? Right, because that shouldn't be the way that we're focusing on doing this. We should be constantly trying to actually deliver value. And maybe we don't always succeed, but our goal shouldn't just be so focused on the conversion, because then we're losing sight of actually doing what we're supposed to be doing as marketers, which is having relationships and providing value for people, right? Because you talk about the customer journey, right? And content, the whole point of content marketing is supposed to be that you create things that your potential customers like, and you give them value along the way, and eventually when they need to buy, they're hopefully going to buy from you as you develop
They now
this
trust you. You've built that relationship.
Which kind of goes against the idea of a lot of the things that happen when you try to automate too heavily, which is just, we're going to blast and we'll get a few back and whatever.
Well, I'll use a quote that my dad actually used to say to me when we'd be driving, going on kind of road trips with the family, and my brother and I would be in the back seat, and I'd be kind of tapping my brother. My dad would turn around, look at me, and say, Ty, just because you can hit your brother right now and can't reach him doesn't mean you should. And that's really what we should be talking about right now. Just because you can reach the masses with your content right now and put $50 behind and just spray and pray doesn't mean you should. Because like you said, while you might get 2 people that really like your stuff, you just pissed off and aggravated another 50,000.
Right.
So really, where's the trade-off right there? Ooh, great, I got these 2 and they're going to pay me a couple bucks for the short term. But did I also hurt my brand in the process? Do people actually have a negative feeling about me now because I start putting out, kind of these clickbait, spammy messages on the regular, basically? And that's the issue too.
Yeah, no, and I think this comes back to something that I don't know. I think we've talked about it before, but it's really just. I don't think we focus enough on like our own experiences in terms of what we like to do on the internet and how we like to be communicated with. There's too much of a divide between the way that the average person acts on the internet and then when they put on their marketing hat, how they act as a marketer, right? And you need to try to merge those two experiences a little bit more in order to try to do better. We need to try to think more about what are the things that I like? What are the ways I like to be
yourselves in there.
communicated with?
I mean, the perfect example of this, we were, no lie, before this, we were on a digital marketing site. And while we were on the digital marketing site, we click on, say, okay, this is blank.com.
Going to look at an article.
Going to look at an article that we were interested in. We couldn't have been on that article for more than 2 seconds and a pop-up ad. And this is from a well-known social media marketing site.
Right.
And the first thing they do while talking about digital media trends is hit you with a pop-up ad.
Right.
You know, it's like, you're the experts on this. You're the ones talking about this. Take a step back and remember, you're end user. I get you want to subscribe. I will subscribe if you put out continuously
Right.
great
And we
content.
do, right?
But the minute I go to your site and you hit me with this, I'm thinking, you guys don't know jack about what I actually want from a marketing perspective.
Yeah, I think that's a good example. I think that's a really good
I mean, it
example.
literally just happened while we have the laptop right here.
It's so frustrating too, and it's like, yeah, they're probably going to get some conversions from that pop-up ad, and
Definitely will.
and good for you. But way more, what would have been way more effective is if you convinced me through the course of your marketing, through the course of your article or your video or whatever it is that I'm engaging with, that I should take the next step. And maybe I won't do it then even, right? But this goes back to like the quantity and hitting people when they're there. Hit me with good quality content and I'm eventually probably gonna buy something from you as long as you're meeting my need, right? And part of the problem too is like, if you're not meeting my need and we're not a match, then my lead doesn't mean anything to you anyway. Like, so if you create enough stuff that matches what I want and is high quality content, eventually I'm gonna buy. If I'm not a match, I'm not a match, right? You can't put a square peg in a round hole. So I don't know.
Don't get me wrong, you have to ask. You have to make the
Sure, of
ask,
course.
right? But the ask isn't up front. I mean, go walk down the street right now, right? And go walk up to somebody and say, do you want to subscribe to my blog? They're going to look at you and say, no, that's
Right.
that, right? But if you say, you start, every day someone walks by you give them an article, hand them an article, paper article, thought you might like this, thought you might like this. Don't say anything about it. That's going to be a little, I mean, it's still kind of creepy,
Yeah.
but it's much better than walking up to someone and
Well,
say, can I have your email address?
Right,
You
yeah,
know, it's
but
like
it's also
you're
less-
literally walking up to someone, you don't know who they are,
But it's
and
also
saying, can I
less
have,
creepy. Say you walk into a business, a pizza shop, and you're like, "Hey, here's some information that's going to help you make better pizza." You're probably like, "Oh, okay. I mean, this is kind of weird that you're talking to me, but I'll read this." That's your Facebook
Yeah.
sponsored post, right? And so
Yeah.
that's their first interaction, and then maybe they're like, "Oh, that guy was kind of cool. I'll call him up. I'll
Yeah.
keep him on my speed dial." And then they give him some more tips, and eventually he's like, "You seem to know a lot about making pizza." You know what I mean? Sounds stupid, but
yeah.
to like the
But
face-to-face interaction is
versus
a good way
walking
to talk
in there
about it.
and saying,
You want to buy a
I
pizza
know,
oven from me?
I know
You
exactly how to make pizza. I have the best pizza content out there. Give me your email address.
Many
Like,
people
wait
are
a
saying
minute.
I have the best pizza content.
Yeah.
No, the pop-up ad's a great example. And you know, we've both worked and do work with clients in industries that still use direct mail. And
absolutely.
I still see some great results from our direct mail campaigns that get run. And the main thing is just to make sure that it all ties together, right? When you're digital marketing, every single direct mail campaign we have has a digital component to it, even if it's just, it's more than this for us at this point, but there's a URL, right? And if people want to convert online, they can. But you shouldn't sleep on the fact that like old school campaigns still are effective and work. And in a lot of cases, that's a better way to like meet someone when they're ready to be met than a pop-up ad. Like a banner ad, a pop-up ad, this stuff that's going to cost money and clicks per impression, all this stuff. It's focus on what you like, and
Again,
what
you
your
keep
target
putting
audience.
yourselves at
Do
the
focus
end
groups and talk to
Yep.
figure out what you like.
Survey your people. Ask what
And
they
survey
like.
yourself.
you know?
Like honestly, start
Yeah.
first and foremost. Do I hate this? Do I hate this element of the internet? Do I hate pop-up ads? If you hate pop-up ads and everyone you talk to hates pop-up ads, why are you using pop-up ads? Right?
Yeah,
Like
because you gain 5 more people?
It's
I mean,
not
well,
worth
what do
it.
you think?
Anyway.
That's not worth it. Yeah, so we kind of went two ways with that. One, from the client
pop-up
side.
ads. We're just screaming
Yeah,
about
we're just talking about
ads.
pop-up
We're
ads.
screaming at clouds right now.
Yeah. That's the way.
Fighting windmills out here, Tyler. Jeez.
Get off my lawn, folks. That's the way we're going to end it here. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. He's Phil. I'm Tyler. We'll see you guys next time.